What up, players? Welcome back to a new video. I know all these videos lately been looking the same in the beginning with this C10 here, but my cousin brought it back and now we're doing some more work to it. So let me show you what we're about to get into. So if you're familiar with these old school cars, you know their bumpers always have these big ugly bolts, bumper bolts, and they're very noticeable. And when people are building custom cars, a lot of people want to go smooth and shave a lot of things. So we're going to be shaving those bumpers today. You can see the front ones also have it. Here's the front ones. So I'm going to get to taking that bumper off and I'm going to show you guys exactly what I do to shave them. Because there's people that do different methods on shaving the bolts and stuff, but I'm going to show you guys my way of doing it. I'm going to pick the back of this truck up right now and get some room so I can take those bumpers off. So what I'm going to do is take the bolts out from the frame, pull the whole back piece off with the bumper brackets attached. All right guys, so under the truck down here, you can see a lot of stuff going on, but these two bolts right here are the ones you gotta take off. And then you can see on the inside of the frame rail, that's what they look like. So maybe your car has different bolts, but I'm gonna just take this bumper off now and I'll show you guys what we're gonna do. All right, so I got the bumper off now and I got it on a stand over here. You can see these are the bumper bolts that we're going to be shaving. This is the outside of it, and that's on the inside. And then these are the ones that we're holding it to the frame. Same over here. Alright guys, so I got one of the brackets off. Normally it's mounting like this with the bolt through and would line up to your frame over here. So this is what these look like on the back side. So basically it has a square so that it prevents it from spinning and backing out. So what you're gonna do is cut this round part off of your bolt. I'll show you guys right now how I'm gonna cut it. And then we're gonna be welding it from back here inside of the square parts. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a minute. And then we're gonna be flipping it over and then welding it from this side as well. And this is where we're gonna actually have to grind it flush. So let me get to cutting this and I'll show you guys what I'm gonna be cutting it like. Alright guys, I just prepped the bolt. See right here. I cleaned like the square side of it to the bare metal and I cut it up a lot. I also prepped this area, the inside of the bumper, and now I'm gonna just get this part down to bare metal as well on the outside. I'm gonna get this side to bare metal because we're gonna be welding here and up here. Alright guys, pretty much set up now. I got the front side prepped, back side prepped, and I got my bolts. Got the bolts cut and prepped also. Important thing you want to do is actually clean the inside of these holes because maybe they have some kind of coating or paint on them, and that's gonna stop the welds from actually really fusing together the bolt to the bumper. So you want to have it as well prepped as possible. All right players, got everything pretty much prepped for one side of this bumper. The other side I'm basically cut off and do it real quick. I just wanted to show you guys on one side. It's gonna be the same thing on the other side obviously. So we got this prepped. Somehow it's just sitting in there right now, but this is how it looks underneath. I'll flip it over and show you guys when I get to this side, but basically sits like that. So the bumper bracket is actually slotted this way, like this. You're gonna want to tack it on this side and this side. That way it doesn't interfere with the bumper bracket sitting flush against the bumper. So I'm gonna get some tacks in right now and show you guys basically what I'm talking about. Alright guys, so this is what I was talking about, just the sides. With those welds enough, it's solid enough to hold that bolt in place. It's not gonna go anywhere. And this is what I was referring to with the whole bumper bracket thing. See how the welds still sit in that little slot? So if you weld a little bit too big, all you gotta do is grind it down a little bit just so it could still sit flat. My bracket's still able to sit flat, so that's gonna be solid. I'm gonna get this bolt welded in on this side the same way, and then I'm gonna flip the bumper over and I'm gonna show you guys how to do the outside because obviously we still got a little bit of meat on this bumper bolt head. The bumper bolt pretty much in place right now. I'm just holding it from underneath. It is gonna get hot once you put a weld on it, so wear gloves or hold it with like some channel locks or something. Alright guys, pretty solid. Now like I said, these two are locked in. Those things are not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna flip over the bumper now and show you guys the top side. Alright guys, you can see here, I don't know if you guys could see it, on the sides is a gap where you can see through. So that's basically where we're gonna melt together. It is a little high, but I'll just grind down the head, whatever's left over. Same on this side, I left a little bit too much, but it's solid on the back side. These things aren't going nowhere now. I'm gonna grind down the head a little bit, and then I'll fill it all in with weld and grind it down smooth again. When you're doing this, you don't want to take too much metal off your actual bumper, so just do enough prep to get it to bare metal, and then don't grind it too deep because then you're gonna have real low spots. Just be real careful when you're grinding all this, like the head and the welds down, that you're only grinding down the added metal, not the existing bumper. Otherwise, like I said, you're gonna have low spots. There's gonna be more body work. All right guys, I just grinded it down. And now you can see the square shape of the bolt head. Basically those cracks all the way around. We're gonna heat this up real hot with the welding machine and just melt in those cracks with the weld. That way when you grind it down, the cracks are gone and it's nice and blended. So I'm gonna get to welding these, and I'll show you guys basically with the weld and then grind it down as a final. Alright guys, I left one basically like final, and the other one I'm gonna show you. I welded it up. The weld's a little high, but just needs to get grinded down. It did penetrate. This side looked exactly the same, and I grinded it down nice and smooth now. So it's flat. Same thing is gonna happen to this. And then I'm gonna do the exact same process on these for the other bumper bracket. Then everything will be solid. You'll be able to install your bumper brackets back on and everything will be good. Then I gotta shave these. I didn't even notice these ones, but I'm gonna be shaving these as well. The license plate little bracket. But I'll update you guys now that I showed you guys all the steps. I'm gonna update you guys all when the whole bumper's done. All right, players, just wrap these up nice and smooth, grinding them down. Left them nice and smooth, guys. So pretty satisfied with this. Went real easy. I've done it before. I've done it on the Nova, on mine. I don't know, I've done this a couple times on a couple cars, but it's always satisfying leaving these nice and smooth. And I did leave the backs like this. I don't know if you guys, I showed you guys. They're nice and solid. Extra support weld on the inside. So I'm actually gonna weld. I can't just like shave the bolts the same way I did here. Otherwise it's gonna lock this plate in either way. So what I'm gonna do is just get rid of the bolts. I'm gonna weld it on the inside. Couple stitch welds around it just to secure it solid, and then I'm just gonna weld the holes. I'm gonna take the bolts out and I'm gonna just weld the holes, shave, grind them out here, leave them smooth, and it'll be all welded together in here, holding it in the back. So basically with this kind of stuff, guys, I know there's a lot of people, they complain about losing stuff, like the whole one-piece tail light thing. I had a lot of people crying about losing the reverse side, but with these custom builds you sacrifice some things for your own personal preferences on your build. So it really is up to you on your car. You can do whatever you want to it. Just ignore the crybabies out there. Do what you want. That's what it's all about, guys. So this piece is never gonna separate from this piece of the bumper. It's not like you're ever gonna have to. If you do, just take your bumper out the way, then who cares, guys. So I'm gonna get to doing this. I'm gonna mark up a couple spots that I want to weld. I'm gonna take this apart, prep it all up nice and well, then reinstall it, stitch weld it, and then get rid of the bolts. Once it's nice and securely welded, then I'll fill in the holes. I don't know why these bolts are a pain in the ass to take off right now, but they're all out right here. All right, guys, as you can see, we're welded up here, 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 and over here. So this bracket is now officially one piece with the whole bumper. We flip this over, you see how hot it got, and it burned out some of the paint out here, which is fine because this whole bumper is gonna get rebody worked and the whole truck is getting rebody worked. It's all gonna get painted again, so don't worry about all this. Now we gotta prep these holes where the existing bolt went through, and I'm gonna weld those shut, and it'll be nice and shaved, and this will be attached to the truck and everything's gonna be solid. All right, guys, everything got prepped. I wiped it down and cleaned it up real nice. Like I said, I'm not doing the body work to this bumper, so I'm not taking down the whole bumper to metal. Whoever's gonna be working on this will. I'm just gonna prime all the bare metal spots, everything that I grinded down, and leave it ready for the body man. As you can see, Let me get out the way. This is the back side where the bolts are welded. This is where all my welds were, bolting the rear license plate bracket in place to the bumper. Everything's welded and primered. Here's the front side, also primered. All the spots, you can see, nice and smooth. This piece paper got stuck. We're gonna take this off. So now I'm gonna go back to reinstalling this bumper, and I'm gonna show you guys that. Oh, also I cleaned up all this. These bolts, shaved all these down. They're nice and smooth now, and primed up in here. All right, guys. So I'm gonna get this thing ready and try to throw it back on the truck. I'm gonna have Bethel help me out, and we'll get it mounted right now. All right, guys. I got the front bumper off of the truck now. A nice new, already smoothed out bumper from Classic Industries. Not sure exactly what makes it, but hopefully these numbers can help you out if you're interested in buying one. As you can see here, no bumper bolts and no license plate notch or anything like that, like this one. So what I'm doing, as you can see here, I'm gonna start setting this up because it has these little brackets welded on the inside to replace the bumper bolts. So I gotta take off this bracket and reuse this little bracket and reuse that, and so on. I'm gonna move all this stuff to the new bumper, sit it in place, and see what it looks like. Comes with this hardware kit. As you can see, these bolts slide in place. So I'm gonna be installing the brackets right now. Alright guys, I actually got this one mounted now. I just gotta tighten down the bolts. They're a little loose right now, but I wanted to show you guys what it looks like underneath. So you could see here, that's how the bolts work. There's that little bracket going to the frame. That other one, just a straight bolt to the frame. And this is the other bracket. This, I'm not sure if other trucks have longer brackets or if this is another bracket, but I use the inside ones. So this thing's on. No more front license plate, and this thing looks sick. It's nice, smooth, and eliminates a lot of the work, just like all the stuff that we did on the back one. You don't have to do it. They do sell a back version of this, so you could always just do that on the rear side too. But I installed this one. Pretty smooth. Alright guys, so the C10 is pretty much done. Front bumper installed. Nice and smooth bumper. Easy install. You guys already know that. And then the back one that we just shaved. Nice and easy. Everything went on smooth. So basically, that goes to show you how to shave bumper bolts. Some cars may be a little different. On mine, on the Nova, I actually welded the brackets to the bumper, but the brackets are a little different than the C10 one, so I just would prefer not to do it on this one. That's why I just welded the actual stud first to the back of the bumper, as you guys saw earlier, instead of just, like on mine, I just took the bumper off, welded everything in place, then I took the bolts out. It was different, but like I'm saying, similar on all these cars with the bumper bolts. Some cars you just have a little bit of different things to do to make your life easier when you're doing that job. So if you're trying to do this on your bumper bolts, hopefully this helped you out, and hopefully you guys learned something. So peace out guys.